My girlfriend Maddie looked me straight in the eye last Tuesday and said, "Jude, you are out of the picture. My friends think I can do better." I was literally assembling kitchen furniture at the time, screwdriver in hand, trying to make our home nicer. The words hit me like a physical blow. I am 32, work as a branch manager at a local bank here in Austin, and I own my townhouse outright. Well, mostly outright. Inherited part of it from my dad and spent years paying off the rest with my boring, stable banker salary. Nothing flashy, but it is mine. Maddie's been living here for 2 years, rent-free, while pursuing her freelance photography career, which honestly brings in maybe $300 some months. She kept talking, getting more animated as she explained how her friends Tara and Brooke had opened her eyes. Tara's dating a surgeon now, Brooke just got engaged to some startup founder, and apparently I am just not enough. Not ambitious enough for the life she deserves, she said. I wasn't arguing or fighting back, which seemed to confuse her at first. I understand, I told her, setting down the screwdriver. My voice was completely calm. That is when she got this smug little smile. You should probably start looking for somewhere else to live soon, but don't stress about it. I will need a few months to get my finances situated, so you have got time. She said this like she was doing me a favor, like she was being generous by giving me time to move out of my own house. I just nodded and said I would handle everything. Here is what Maddie doesn't know, and what I am still processing as I type this at 2 in the morning. I wasn't shocked by what she said. I have been watching her change for months. Watching how she lights up when she talks about her friends' boyfriends. Watching how she looks at our life like it is some kind of consolation prize. The thing is, when someone tells you exactly who they are and what they think of you, you should believe them. So, I am. But here is where it gets interesting. Maddie thinks she just upgraded her life by getting rid of the boring banker boyfriend. She thinks she is about to inherit a beautiful townhouse in one of Austin's most desirable neighborhoods. She spent the rest of the evening on the phone with Tara, already making plans to redecorate her place. I let her talk. I let her plan. And I started making some plans of my own. What she doesn't realize is that when she said I was out of the picture, she wasn't just talking about our relationship. She was talking about everything that comes with me, including the roof over her head. But I am getting ahead of myself. Let me tell you what happened next, because the last 72 hours have been absolutely wild. Update 1. Thank you all for the incredible response to my original post. Reading your comments helped me realize I wasn't crazy for feeling like this whole situation was backwards. A lot of you predicted exactly what would happen next, and honestly, you weren't wrong. Avi has fully embraced her new identity as a free, ambitious woman. She updated all her dating profiles with photos taken in my living room. Descriptions reading creative artist seeking a man with vision and drive. She has been hosting these wine nights with Tara and Brooke every Friday, and I can hear them from my home office talking about how I am just small-town banker with no ambition and how she is finally ready to level up. Last weekend, she brought someone home. Ryan, junior associate at some law firm downtown. I was in the kitchen making coffee when they walked in, and she introduced him like I was her roommate or something. "This is Jude. He is transitioning out," she said with this bright smile. Ryan looked uncomfortable as hell, but Maddie was practically glowing. I have been keeping my mouth shut and staying busy. Started quietly moving my personal stuff to a storage unit during lunch breaks. Important documents, family photos, my dad's tools, things that matter to me. Maddie probably thinks I am just being dramatic, giving her space to figure out her new life. What she doesn't know is that I spent last Monday afternoon with a real estate attorney named Patricia Chen. Really nice woman, very thorough. We went over all my options regarding the house situation. Patricia explained tenant rights, squatter laws, all of it. Turns out that since Maddie never paid rent, never signed a lease, never contributed to mortgage or utilities, she has zero legal claim to stay in my house. Zero. She has essentially been my guest for 2 years. But here is the thing that made Patricia raise her eyebrows. I am not kicking Maddie out. I am not selling the house either. Instead, I signed something yesterday that is going to change everything. I found a young couple through my bank connections. Michael works as an ER nurse at Del Seaton. Jenna teaches 4th grade at a school near downtown. Great credit, stable income, solid references. They have been looking for a place exactly like mine for months. We signed a 2-year lease agreement. They are moving in 8 weeks from today. The rental income will more than cover my mortgage payment and property taxes, Plus, give me a nice buffer for maintenance and savings. Patricia reviewed everything to make sure it is ironclad legal. Maddie has no idea. She has been talking to her mom on the phone about how she is going to redecorate her house once I finally get my act together and move out. Yesterday, I overheard her telling someone that I will probably take forever to find a place, because I am not exactly a catch and don't have much going for me. I just keep saying things like, "Don't worry. Everything will be handled, and I am working on it," when she asks about my timeline for leaving. She takes this as confirmation that I am struggling to find somewhere to go, that I am probably having trouble accepting that she is done with me. The truth is, I have already put a deposit down on a downtown apartment. 1 bedroom, nice building, walking distance to work. I will be moved out with time to spare before Michael and Jenna arrive, 8 weeks and counting. I am not sure what Maddie thinks is going to happen, but I have a feeling it is not going to go the way she is imagining. Update 2. This situation has gotten absolutely surreal. I honestly don't know whether to laugh or feel genuinely concerned about what is going to happen when reality hits. Maddie has completely transformed into someone I barely recognize. She redecorated the living room without asking, bought new throw pillows and artwork with money I can only assume came from her photography work, or maybe Tara and Brooke. She has been bringing Ryan over more frequently, not just for coffee anymore. Last weekend, they spent Saturday afternoon on my back deck drinking wine and talking about their future together. She introduced him to my neighbor Mrs. Patterson as my boyfriend Ryan, and when Mrs. Patterson asked where I was, Maddie said, "Oh, Jude's moving out soon. This is going to be our place. Our place." Like they are building a life together in my house. The phone conversation I overheard with her mother last Tuesday night was something else. "Mom, once Jude finally gets his stuff together and leaves, I am going to completely redo the master bedroom. Ryan thinks we should knock out the wall between the office and the guest room to make a bigger art studio space." Her voice was so excited, so certain. I never realized how much I was limiting myself by staying with someone so safe. I was standing in my own hallway listening to her plan renovations to my own house, and I genuinely didn't know how to feel. Part of me wanted to walk in there and explain reality to her, but honestly, she seemed so happy, so confident in this version of the future she has created in her head. Meanwhile, I have been systematically moving everything that matters to me. My books, my dad's old record collection, kitchen stuff, I actually care about. I do it gradually so she doesn't notice. Usually when she is out with Ryan or at one of her wine nights. The house is starting to feel like a shell of itself, at least in terms of my presence there. Michael and Jenna came by yesterday for a final walkthrough before they move in next week. I timed it for when Maddie was at a photography workshop downtown. They are so excited about the place, especially the kitchen and the little garden area out back. Jenna wants to plant herbs. Michael's already talking about setting up a home gym in the basement. They seem like they will take really good care of everything. But here is where things got complicated. Maddie came home early from her workshop and saw official-looking papers from the property management company on the kitchen counter. She must have glanced at them before I could put them away, because later that evening she was practically bouncing around the house. "Jude," she said, finding me in the bedroom, "I saw some paperwork earlier. Are you actually selling the house? Like, to move on?" Her tone was so hopeful, so relieved. I just looked at her and said, "Don't worry about it. Everything's being handled." She took that as confirmation of whatever story she is telling herself. That night, I heard her on the phone with Brooke. I think he has finally realized this is for the best. He is selling the house so he can start fresh somewhere else. It is actually really mature of him. The disconnect between what she thinks is happening and what is actually happening is staggering. In her mind, I am the one who needs to start over. I am the one who is getting a reality check about my place in the world. She is convinced that me moving on from the house means I am finally accepting that she was right about everything. 6 more days. 6 more days in truth. I keep thinking I should, that it would be kinder somehow. But then I remember her words, "You are out of the picture." She made this choice. She decided I wasn't worth keeping around, that my life and everything I have built wasn't good enough for her, so I am giving her exactly what she asked for. I am stepping out of the picture completely. Final update. I don't even know where to begin with what happened yesterday. I am still processing it all, and honestly, I am not sure whether I feel vindicated or just deeply sad about how everything went down. Friday night, Maddie was in full celebration mode. She had spent the week buying new furniture for her house, including this expensive velvet couch that she somehow convinced Ryan to help her pay for. She made this elaborate dinner and kept toasting to their new beginning. Ryan seemed a little uncomfortable with how fast she was moving, but he went along with it. I spent Friday evening doing final packing and cleaning up my office. Maddie assumed I was stress cleaning because I was emotional about leaving our house. She actually patted my shoulder at one point and said, "Don't worry, Jude. You will find somewhere nice. Maybe something smaller and more manageable." Saturday morning at 8:45, I was loading the last of my clothes into my car when I saw the moving truck turning onto our street right on schedule. Maddie was in the kitchen making breakfast for herself and Ryan, who had spent the night again. She was wearing this silk robe she had bought specifically for christening the house as truly hers. Her words from a text I saw her send to Tara earlier that week. At exactly 9 a.m., Michael and Jenna arrived with Patricia Chen, my real estate attorney, and the property management company representative. They had keys, official paperwork, and a very professional-looking moving crew. I was standing in my driveway finishing up with my car when I heard Maddie's voice from the front door. "Excuse me, who are you people? Why are you on my property?" Jenna, sweet person that she is, looked confused. "Hi there. We are Michael and Jenna Chen Rodriguez. We just signed a 2-year lease with the property owner. We are moving in today." The silence that followed was deafening. "What?" Maddie's voice went up about 3 octaves. "What lease? This is my house." That is when Patricia stepped forward with her briefcase and very calm professional demeanor. "Madam, I am Patricia Chen, representing the property owner. According to our records, you have no legal tenancy or ownership claim to this address. We will need you to vacate the premises today so our tenants can move in." I watched Maddie's face go through about 5 different emotions in 10 seconds. Confusion, disbelief, anger, panic, and then this desperate kind of fury. She called my phone immediately, even though I was standing right there in the driveway. Her hands were shaking. Jude, you cannot do this to me. You cannot just kick me out. This is my home." I answered the phone even though she was 20 feet away. "Hey Maddie. What is up? What is up? What's up? There are people here saying they are moving into my house. You have to stop this." "Actually," I said, keeping my voice completely calm, "you told me I was out of the picture, so I stepped out. The house went with me." The realization hit her like a physical force. I watched her face change as she understood that every assumption she had made, every plan she had built, every conversation she had had about her future in her house was based on absolutely nothing. But I live here. I have lived here for 2 years as my guest," I said. "And now I have new guests." Ryan appeared in the doorway behind her, looking like he wanted to disappear into the floor. Poor guy clearly had no idea what he had gotten himself into. Maddie tried everything. She called Tara, who apparently couldn't take her in because she is in a delicate phase with the surgeon. She called Brooke, who is too busy with wedding planning to deal with drama. She even called her sister in Dallas. But that conversation was short and did not sound like it went well. By 2 p.m., Maddie had packed everything she owned into Ryan's sedan and her own small Honda. Ryan looked absolutely shell-shocked. I heard him asking her why she had never mentioned that the house wasn't actually hers, and her response was something about how she never thought it mattered because she assumed I had leave it to her when I moved out. The last thing she said to me was, "I cannot believe you would do something so cruel." She was crying, standing next to a car full of her hastily packed belongings. I looked at her and said, "You told me I wasn't good enough for the life you wanted. I am just making sure you get the chance to build that life somewhere else." As I am writing this update, I am sitting in my new downtown apartment. It is smaller than the house, but it is exactly what I need. The view of the city is actually pretty great, and I can walk to work in 15 minutes. The rental income from Michael and Jenna covers my mortgage and nets me about $800 extra per month, which I am putting straight into savings. Michael texted me yesterday to say they loved the place, and Jenna's already started planning her herb garden. They seem genuinely happy to be there. I ran into Maddie last month at a coffee shop downtown. She was working behind the counter, which surprised me because she had always been pretty vocal about service jobs being beneath her artistic calling. She looked tired, older somehow. When she saw me, she mumbled something about how she should have appreciated what she had. I left a $20 tip on a $5 coffee and told her I hoped she was doing well. I meant it. The truth is, I never wanted revenge. I never wanted to hurt her or teach her a lesson. I just wanted her to get exactly what she said she wanted. A life without me in it. She said I wasn't good enough, that I was holding her back, that she could do better. So I made sure she got the chance to prove it. Sometimes the best response to someone who doesn't value what you bring to their life is simply to take it with you when you go. I am doing really well these days, better than I have been in a long time, actually. Turns out when you stop trying to be enough for someone who is determined to see you as not enough, you discover you were always more than enough for the right person. I just haven't met her yet, but I will.